Let's see if the auto start works. It says we have an excellent connection. And hey, we're live. Hey, cool, it did work. That is awesome. Love that. All right, get my windows situated here. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Christmas 2023. We are sitting down today with a cup of coffee for a holiday edition of our coffee chat. I have my wonderful coffee this morning with a peppermint mocha creamer featuring a candy cane on the side that's hanging out here and dripping down into my coffee. So that's nice and fun. I just hit myself in the face with a candy cane. That's great. Well, hey, happy holidays, everyone. I just wanted to sit down today and catch up and reflect a little bit on 2023. And we're taking a little bit of a break from streaming Harry Potter, which we'll pick up in the new year. And for today, this is actually going to be our last stream of the year. We have some uploads that'll be going up as things are picking up task-wise at the church. And this will just be easier for my sanity and my mental health to be able to just have one less thing on my plate. So this video, the clip from this video, will go up pretty close to Christmas. And then we'll take a short break and pick up with more Hogwarts Legacy in the new year. But as you can see, I'm decked out in my Santa hat. I have our other Santa hat that my wife usually wears hanging on the lamp here. That might be a fire hazard, actually, now that I think about it. But hey, you know what? It's for the views. If everything burns down, then like and subscribe. We have our Christmas tree set up back here. My wife was really excited to put up all our ornaments and stuff. I learned that my family, I guess, has a unique tradition where my parents would get me an ornament every year growing up. And that's apparently not a very traditional thing to do. And so we have some of our standard ornaments back there, but then also ones that we had growing up. And my parents actually gave us ornaments as a couple the last couple of years that Sandy and I have been married. And they got one for our baby this year. And so that's really fun. That's exciting, and a tradition that we get to carry on with our family. And so we also have our Yule log back there. I don't know how common of a tradition that is, but that's also something that my family would do growing up. And then we have back there, you can kind of see a little bit, we have our stockings hung on our folding table with care. Because we don't, I guess we do have a chimney. There's actually a fireplace behind that folding table, but we have some extra storage back there, and it's nice to have that little table in lieu of a TV console. But yeah, we are ready for Christmas in the PunPastor home. We're getting ready for Christmas at the church, doing just a simple Sunday morning gathering for Christmas Eve, and then we get to spend Christmas with our families, and that's really nice. My mind is actually not totally on Christmas right now because as a part of my job being the pastor of online ministry at my church, I'm tasked with putting together for New Year's a online only rendition expression of our Sunday gathering, so that way that our staff can go and rest. And so it's a little extra work on me, but everyone gets a break, and in turn they typically give me less things to do for Christmas, which is nice. Ironically, well, not ironically, but fascinatingly, I guess would be a word. We are doing a Christmas bingo this year, and that's the major project that I'm working on because our lead pastor suggested, just in the spirit of having like a fun Christmas Eve, we are putting together bingo sheets for everyone who will be with us on that Sunday, and we'll have some Christmas themed things, some church themed things, and people will be shouting out bingo in the middle of his message. And so that'll be good. That'll be fun. I'm excited to see it. It was his idea, and so I'm hoping that it turns out well. Even though he's going to be getting interrupted by a whole bunch of people shouting bingo. Christmas is an interesting season because everyone has different traditions. Some people celebrate Christmas as a concept. Some celebrate it as a part of their religion. And some people actively don't celebrate it because it is a part of their religion, and they have other seasonal holidays that they celebrate outside of the birth of Christ. My wife's family is Hispanic, a mix of thank you. A mix of different Hispanic ethnicities, and actually, my wife she hid these tiny ducks all over the house, and so I am slowly collecting them. But they celebrate on Christmas Eve, and that's their tradition. And then Christmas morning is all about sleeping in and just like we're so exhausted. But for my family, it's waking up on Christmas morning, and we would have cinnamon rolls and open gifts and stuff like that and have family time, which makes it logistically very easy for us to celebrate with both sides of our family. But it's really interesting. This discussion comes up every year about the origins of Christmas. And if I'm being completely honest, which I love to be, I don't know a ton about the actual origins of Christmas. I've heard that Jesus was more likely born in the spring, that I actually heard the other day, I heard that maybe he was born in summer. That's the first time I've heard that one. And I know that the Christmas tree is supposed to be a pagan symbol. I'm not 100% sure where exactly that came from, but I want to do some research into that today. I was actually sitting down for a podcast that we do as part of the church. We call it Midweek Mashup, where I just sit down with whoever gave the message, and we go over some more details of things, and I get to learn a lot, which is cool. And we sat down, we were talking about this passage in Hebrews, and I had to be honest, be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm a pastor, and I can't speak to this verse. I haven't researched it. I don't know it. It's an important verse, but here's my experience practically. And it kind of sucks to do that. I would love to just have an infinite knowledge of the Bible. That would be great. That's what I should have written Santa for Christmas, is just an infinite knowledge of the Bible. But I'm very slowly going through a read through of the Bible and really just trying my best to understand and comprehend everything that's in there. I've tried to do like Bible in the year reading things, but it doesn't work. I want to go deep. I want to understand. And with that means that at this point in my life, I need to be honest in saying I can't speak to the theology behind this passage because I haven't gotten there yet. I went to school. I have a master's degree in essentially understanding how to approach reading the Bible. I did a little bit of Hebrew, a little bit of Greek, a lot of overarching themes, and a lot of just general. So I think it's more important for me to say, hey, you know what? I can't speak to that right now, than to try to make something up and be wrong or be misleading about something in Scripture. And so this is one of those things. The origins of Christmas is one of those things that I want to actually do some research on today. And so I'm going to drink some water because I'm talking a lot. But I wanted to kind of just bring you along in this process, and and we'll maybe look at the Bible a little bit, and we'll do some Google searches, and let's see, let's do the book of Matthew, and we will open up here. Matthew 1 is the genealogy. Okay, yeah. Or is it Luke that we get the typical Bible story from? Matthew focuses a lot on the genealogy. Let's see. I'm gonna actually just switch over to this window right now. I was gonna wait until I had it pulled up, but I want to take you through what I'm looking at here. So there's 4 Gospels: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and I believe that's also the order that they were written in, which is why they're postured in that way, why they're ordered in that way. I'm using the NIV because that's kind of just the most common translation. All right, we have John Baptist foretold birth of Jesus. Okay, the birth of Jesus comes here. So let's see. So birth of John the Baptist foretold. Okay. All right. So Jesus' aunt is pregnant, a virgin, pledged to be married. That's Mary. Yep, virgin's name is Mary. Angel went to her. The Lord is with you. And the angel's like, do not be afraid, because apparently angels are kind of crazy. That's another deep dive to do into angels. That's for another time. Let's see. You will conceive, give birth to a son. His name is Jesus. Woo! And he will be given the throne of his father David. Hey, that doesn't make sense. I'm going through this a little quickly because this is more of a narrative sort of passage, and not some deep theology here or anything like that, like some of the epistles later in the New Testament. Epistles meaning just like letters that mostly Paul wrote. Let's see. And then Mary's like, yep, I'm in, God. Count me in. Put me in, coach. All right. And then Mary goes to visit Elizabeth, and then we get Mary's song. And I believe this is actually, there's a lot of cool theology in Mary's song that influences Jesus's theology as he's growing up. And so, let's see, my soul glorifies the Lord, humble state of his servant. God has done great things for me. His mercy extends to those who fear him. Whenever you see fear in the Bible, it's kind of a weird translation thing where it's more like awe and respect. It's not like a one-for-one translation from the Hebrew word to the English word fear. I don't know the Hebrew word off the top of my head, but in the New Testament it would be Greek. But I did a word study on this when I was going through the wisdom books. The word fear is more like awe and respect, and like, oh my gosh, I can't comprehend how big this God is. Let's see. Brought down, lifted up the humble, filled the hungry with good things. The rich go away empty. Merciful to Abraham, his sons forever, just as he promised. All right, then John the Baptist is born. We're not going to cover him right now. Zechariah has a song. Apparently, I didn't know that, honestly. I'm in the second book of the Bible in my read through right now. All right, did we? Birth of John the Baptist. Is the birth of Jesus next? Hey, birth of Jesus. Okay. All right, I think they read this at Disneyland every year, which is kind of cool. All right, Caesar Augustus issues a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world, and everyone went to their hometown to register. So Joseph, who is the fiance husband of Mary, who is pregnant with little baby infant Jesus. They go to Bethlehem, which is the town of David, because he's from the line of David. And I'd imagine that there's a lot of people in the line of David, which would probably explain, oh, there's no room at the inn. But they kind of gloss over that here. While they were there, time came for a baby to be born. She gave birth to her firstborn, a son. Jesus has siblings. He has a brother named James and a disciple named James, which can get a little confusing. Wrapped him in cloths, placed him in a manger. There was no guest room available for them, so they had to be out with the animals. Talk about a humble origin. You're being born to a teenage girl in a barn with no doors. I can't guarantee it had no doors, but when I picture it, it has no doors. Let's see. Interestingly enough, no drummer boy. I've been wondering. That's another thing. I wonder where the drummer boy came from in the song, because I've never known anywhere in the Bible where it's just like, yeah, here's this baby being born, time for a drum solo. Woohoo! All right. All right, Jesus is born. There were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, watching over their flocks at night. The angel appeared and was like, don't be afraid, because apparently angels are terrifying. But I bring you good news and great joy. Go to Bethlehem. There's a baby. And then a great company of the heavenly host. This is an interesting phrase here, because heavenly beings typically refers to angels. A host of people is like multiple armies. I believe. Let me actually look that up right now. Host definition Bible, just in case it needs that. Yeah. So heavenly host means armies. Yeah. Multiple armies. The army or host of Yahweh, who is God. Yeah, okay, and that's why I added Bible in there. Yeah, so I believe I'm correct without going too deep into it, but I've gone into it before. The term host is multiple armies. So a great company from the many armies of angels appeared with the OG angel and said, in a booming voice, glory to God and the earth peace and favor us. You can read. All right. And then the angels disappear. They go back into heaven. And the shepherds are like, okay, let's go to Bethlehem. That was surreal. Then they hurry off. They found Mary and Joseph and the baby in the manger. Still no drummer boy. And then they saw Jesus. They spread the word. And then Mary treasured all these things that were said about them, treasured them, pondered them in her heart. And the shepherds returned. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen. And then they circumcised the baby, named him Jesus, which is what they were told to do. And then they meet Simeon, who I think was given a promise, that he would not die before he had seen the coming of Jesus. And so then he's like, whoa, this is Jesus. And then he blesses them. Hey, and there's also prophet Anna. Day and night. Oh, I didn't know there was another prophet here in this story. I don't know if I forgot that, or if I didn't know that, or if it's just because she's a woman. She hasn't been talked about traditionally in church very much. But I have heard of Simeon. But the prophet Anna is also like, hey, yo, this is the Messiah. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. And then the child grew and became strong, filled with wisdom. The grace of God was on him. And then they jump forward to when he's 12 years old. Now I know the wise men are in here somewhere. So I'm going to look in the book of Matthew. Yeah, here we go. Hey, first try. There we go. Master's degree paying off. All right. After Jesus was born, time of King Herod, Magi, traditionally wise men, came from the east to Jerusalem, and was like, "Yo, where's the King of the Jews? We saw his star and came to worship him." And then King Herod, who is like a puppet king, who's like, "Yeah, you can be over the Jewish people, but like you're a part of the Roman Empire, so like chill." He doesn't actually have that much power. And so they're talking about Bethlehem. Herod gets the Magi, says, "Go and search for the child." They went on their way. They saw the star. They came to the house. Interesting. Maybe they went inside. I don't know. Or maybe they just went to the location. They saw the child with Mary, bowed down, worship him. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh are like perfumes, I believe. Gold is gold, so that's always handy. It's a resin. Yep. So that is a. I believe it's. It's a traditional medicine. That's good for babies. Gold is good to be used for buying things. And let's see. Myrrh. What is myrrh used for? Treating wounds. Hey. All right. They brought some medicine. That's cool. Also burned as an incense. Myrrh is more commonly used in medicines and perfumes, but both are known for their fragrances. So they're both like perfume, incense, fragrance, medicine. That's cool. All right. And then they get a dream not to go back to Herod, and then they went back home another route. And then the book of Matthew goes into their journey to Egypt and then to Nazareth. There's a whole timeline that I'm working on piecing together the Gospels into one timeline, because it can get kind of tricky with all of these different stories in the different Gospels, but they're written to different people and have different intents. And so it's not meant to be exactly like, oh, we're going to they do confirm each other. They do line up. It's just a little more tricky because that wasn't the original intent. It was not to be history. It's meant to be a narrative and story. And hey, here's who this Jesus guy is. There we go. It's cooled off a little bit now. Feeling good. All right. Now that we've looked through the Bible version of Christmas, right? Because I'm sure that does John just gloss over it? Because I know that John is like in the beginning. It talks about like way back creation, and then it just jumps right in. It doesn't really talk about little infant baby Jesus. And then let's see if Mark talks about it. Yeah, John the Baptist prepares the way. Yeah, Mark is the action gospel. He just jumps right into it as well. Matthew focuses a lot on the personhood of Jesus, and him being God and things like that. has his genealogy, the line of David. And then Mark is like the action gospel, like here's Jesus as a miracle worker. Luke is like, no, Jesus was a real dude. Like, I have 15 eyewitnesses to this exact thing. Luke was a doctor. He was like very meticulous. And so he is like one of the most accurate gospel writers. Very detailed. And then John actually writes his gospel like 50 years later or something like that, after everything is kind of circulated already. And he's kind of like, okay, here's the point that people are missing, is that like God loves you and Jesus loves you. And that's why he died on the cross. And so it's like, okay, now that you know that all these things happened, you know what happened. Here's why they happened. So it's just Luke and Matthew that talk about the Christmas story. But let's go ahead and look at the origins of Christmas. This is what I originally and initially, well, I'm trying to burp. Excuse me. There we go. This is what I initially pulled up because I wanted to look into this a little bit more. All right, that looks good in the streaming window there. So we have our generative AI Google search. Christmas is a Christian festival that celebrates the birth of Jesus Christ. Cool. The holiday is celebrated on December 25th and is considered a symbol of peace and love. That's nice. All right. Let's see. Won't do any of those, but there's a nice picture there. Can we show more? The origins of Christmas can be traced back to Roman and other European festivals. These festivals celebrated the end of the harvest and the winter solstice. The Romans also celebrated two holidays in December. Saturnalia, which is a 2-week festival that honored the Roman god of agriculture. I guess that lines up with the end of the harvest. And then the birth of Mithra, which is celebrated the birth of the Roman sun god, Mithra. So I guess that's the end of the harvest and the winter solstice. So, agriculture and the sun. That makes sense. Is there more drop down here? Alright. Okay, these drop downs aren't helpful. The first recorded Christmas celebration was on December 25th, 336 AD, or CE, if you're going with like the common era versus, I forget what AD stands for. It's not after death. It's not like before Christ, after death. I don't believe that's true. All right, now we got to look into that. This is how my research goes typically, is like you look up one thing and then it leads to a million other things. Okay. It is hard to do with my microphone in the way. What do BC and AD stand for? Oh, I guess BC is before Christ, but it's before BCE is how we're supposed to write it now, apparently in academic writing. And then AD is Anno Domini, in the year of our Lord. So maybe it is before Christ, but it's not after death. It's Anno Domini. Domini. Anno Domini. Latin. Latin's difficult. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. All right, now that we've covered that, it was chosen because it is 9 months after March 25th, the traditional date of Jesus' crucifixion. Okay, I didn't know why this. I knew it lined up with some other European holidays, but I didn't know that it was chosen because 9 months after Jesus' crucifixion. Which I guess, if we don't know when he was born or when he was conceived, then going 9 months from the most commonly known date, I'm assuming, which would be Jesus' death, his crucifixion. Oh, sorry. Then 9 months of baby time in the belly. And pop, we get Christmas. I guess that makes sense. You know what? Sometimes I just need to be reminded that the people who decided these things were just people too. And I'm like, you know what? I could probably go and dig and find much more information about that. But it could also just be attributed to the fact that people are people, and they're like, well, Jesus was crucified. That's a big deal. And babies take 9 months before they're born. So let's just count 9 months and call it a holiday. And oh, hey, look, there's already a holiday here. Let's co-opt that. And we're just going to take that and make it about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Good day to you, sir. Christmas. That's probably not how they talked in 336 AD. All right, some other facts about Christmas include the name of Christmas comes from the Mass of Jesus. Oh, the Mass of Jesus. Let me just look up, because I know that Mass is like a Catholic thing. Mass definition. Religion. How about that? We'll keep it general. Mass is the main act of worship and the celebration of the Eucharist sacrament. And just so that I have this right, I believe the Eucharist is the Lord's Supper or communion. Yep, the body and the blood of Christ are believed to be present and consecrated in bread and wine. All right. Interesting. So, we started celebrating Christmas because we wanted to celebrate and have communion together, the Eucharist. Right? The practice of which is called Mass. The Mass of Christ. Christ Mass. Christmas. Huh. We said, all right, hey, it's been 9 months since Jesus was crucified. That was kind of crazy, y'all. Everyone's having a party, but let's take that party and make it about Jesus. And remember back 9 months ago. It's kind of crazy. All right. 3 billion Christmas cards are sent in the U.S. each year. That's crazy. That's a lot of paper. I feel like we could save a lot of trees by not doing that. My wife and I have a digital Christmas card that we just put together in Photoshop and then text to all of our meaningful people, because who sends letters anymore, honestly? The mail is used for Amazon Prime. That's about it. Christmas trees have been sold in the U.S. since 1850. Also, artificial tree. It takes about 15 years to grow the average Christmas, or just leave them in the forest. That's fine. Alabama was the first state to officially recognize Christmas in 1836. That's a long time. That's like 1,500 years. That's exactly 1,500 years. From 336 AD to 1836. Whew. All right. I really like this AI-generated Google thing because it really helps with doing the research. And then you can kind of just click in and see the sources and stuff. But for like just general knowing things, it's awesome. For like more specific, complex things, like I would click into specific sources and stuff like that. But if we're just looking for like the pagan origin of Christmas, AI-generated Google. Thank you, AI. Christmas has pagan origins. Okay. Some of the traditions associated with Christmas, such as feasting, gift-giving, wreaths, and candles, come from the ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia. Okay, yeah, we just talked about that. It is celebrated in mid-December to honor agriculture, Saturn. Also an adaptation of the ancient Greek festival of Cronia, which was celebrated in midsummer. Midsummer, is that literally like the middle of summer? June 24th. What is the summer solstice? Longest day of the year. Huh. Oh, wait, this is a film. Okay. Interesting. People also search for Easter. Christmas. Huh. Okay. That might be a rabbit trail for another time. Okay, another pagan festival. Let's look for the word pagan, because I feel like that's thrown around a lot. And someone who doesn't believe in a religion or worships more than one god. A person holding religious views other than those of the main or recognized religions. Religious beliefs other than those. Okay. Interesting. If you don't believe in religion, more than one god. Interesting. Huh. All right. So pagan doesn't necessarily mean non-Christian, just non-Christian. It's just outside of normal mainline religions. Huh. All right. Here's some more Latin. Natalis sol invicti, which means birthday of the invincible sun. Birth of the two Roman sun gods on December 25th. Or day of the birth of the unconquered sun, Dies Solis Invicti Nati. Okay, yeah, so here's the holiday that we co-opted. It was honoring the Roman sun gods. So we have the Roman god of agriculture. There's an ancient Greek festival. Birth of the Roman sun gods. And then what was the other one? It was something else. There's another sun god, I think. Something like that. And so we're like, hey, everyone's celebrating. Let's do that too. Okay. Celebration of the unconquered sun, marking the return of longer days, which followed Saturnalia. Okay. Interesting. In the 4th century, which was, I think, 336 was when we talked about that. Rebranded the pagan holiday as a Christian festival in order to make their religion more attractive to converts. Interesting. Okay. I haven't heard of NorthJersey.com, so I can't guarantee its legitimacy. Not as the same as like the UK History Channel. I trust them a little more, but That does sound like something people would do. Like, hey, Christians are fun. You like to party? We like to party. Christmas, yeah. Wow. Church history is kind of wild. Okay. Is the Christmas tree a pagan tradition? Okay, so 1747. It was a German thing in Pennsylvania. But up until the 1840s, they were seen as pagan symbols. Let's open this up. History.com. That sounds a little more legitimate. Let's go. There we go. All right. Okay, so that's a German thing. Winter solstice, ancient Egyptians, Ra, another sun god. Let's get rid of this ad. When Ra began to recover from his illness, they filled their home with green palms. Oh, Christmas trees are growing in all 50 states. That's cool. All right. Saturnalia. Oh. The solstice meant that soon the orchards would be green and fruitful, so they decorated their homes and temples with evergreen. Huh. So this is like everyone except for Christians were doing this. I can't really blame them for saying like, hey, we want to be a part of this. Everyone else is out partying, having a good time. Like, oh, look at those boring ass Christians over there. They don't have any green. And so the Christians are like, all right, well, I mean, we got Palm Sunday, but that's for not another while. But Christmas, let's do it. Let's do a green holiday with the winter solstice. We got Celts, we got Vikings, mistletoe, god of light, similar to the god of sun. Not, but pretty close. 16th century. Widely held belief that Martin Luther, who was the guy who nailed the 95 Theses, 99 Theses, 95 Theses. Well, will you tell me? 95 Theses. Hey, there we go. He was awed by the stars twinkling amidst the evergreens. So he brought home a tree and wired its branches with lit candles. Come on, Martin Luther. Okay, you had me with the 95 Theses, right? To reform the church and get back to some of like the OG gospel stuff. Less junk, right? But you are telling me that you, Martin Luther, like leader of the Reformation, put lit candles on a dead tree? Come on, man. You're better than this. I mean, thank you for the Christmas tree, but also you're better than this. Come on. All right. Then who brought it to America? 19th century. So only like 200 years ago. Because we're in the 21st century. First 1820s. Early 70s. Oh, right. That was the Germans. New England's first Puritan leaders viewed Christmas celebrations as unholy. William Bradford tried to stamp out pagan mockery of the observance. Interesting. Huh. So the folks in America didn't like that the folks in Europe were getting a little more secular. That's what it's sounding like. Unless I'm reading that wrong, which is possible. It's always possible. All right. Wow. In 1659, it became illegal in Massachusetts to celebrate Christmas. Wow. This is like Footloose. This is like real life Footloose. No Christmas for you. But then we let in the German and the Irish immigrants, and they brought Christmas. Thank you, Germany and Ireland, for immigrating and bringing Christmas. Oh, that's nice. Still, with the lit flames, guys, no one takes any issue with this? I can't. My brain is just... Victoria... 1890s, Christmas ornaments were arriving from Germany. Christmas tree, yes. Wow. Europeans used small trees about 4 feet in height. Maybe 4 feet? Something like that? Around here, somewhere? And you can see where my hand is compared to the Christmas tree back here. I'm gonna jump back over here. 4 feet tall. Accounting for the angle, it's like maybe here, according to the camera. Because this is supposedly a 7-foot tall artificial tree. And Americans like to extend their Christmas trees from the floor to the ceiling. You can see that it goes out of the frame, but it's legitimately, as I was putting it together, it brushed up against the ceiling. And it's like that far away, like the top of it. I put it up and I was like, that kind of seems like a fire hazard. Anyway, let's go back here. Europeans use small trees about 4 feet in height, while Americans like their Christmas trees to extend from the floor to the ceiling. Wow. We just got to do everything bigger in America. Taller Christmas trees, more GMOs, more preservatives in our food, more corn syrup. It's a mess. All right, now we're moving into the 20th century. Homemade ornaments. German Americans use apples, nuts, and cookies, and popcorn. I always wondered where the popcorn came from. Dyed bright colors, interlaced with berries and nuts. So apples, nuts, cookies, colored popcorn, berries, and more nuts to decorate the trees. And then let's light it on fire. I kind of get that without electricity. But then electricity brought up Christmas lights. They'll glow for days on it. I like that they would just like light these candles and then sit there and be like, this is going to be a nice hour that we can have this up before it becomes a fire hazard. And then they became town squares. Christmas tree in the home. American tradition. And then we put it in Rockefeller Center in New York. And we get crazy. Talk about floor to ceiling. This is a little extra, guys. That's a crazy big Christmas tree. They've been doing it since the Depression. I guess that makes sense. It's hard to be depressed when looking at a Christmas tree. It's kind of just like, oh, okay. Little lights. Not everything is so terrible. At least there's little lights. Um, oh, it was a small, unadorned tree set up by construction workers. And that's funny. That's how most great traditions start, is just unintentionally, I feel like. And then 2 years later, they put it up with lights. And now there's 50,000 of them. Thanks, America! It was simple and pure and wholesome. And then we ruined it. Now it's an abomination. 100 feet tall. Hailing from Connecticut. Interesting. All right. And then we'll go into Christmas trees around the world. Let's see. Christmas traditions. Santa's cookies. Christmas in the 13 colonies. Let's see. Let's see. We have a little bit of time left. We have 10 minutes. I do want to look at these Christmas traditions, and I want to look at the milk and cookies, because I wonder how those two things came about. We're learning today. Okay, that's Martin Luther. How 25 trees. Let's start with the milk and cookies. The war on Christmas. Yeah, don't really care about that. All right. Plate of cookies. Okay. Ancient Norse mythology. None of this holiday is original to America. America isn't even original to America. Like at this point, like we have Native Americans living on reservations. Okay, that's a whole tangent. Okay, I'm not gonna go there. Not today. Not today. Christmas. Norse mythology. 8-legged horse. During Yule, children would leave out food for the horse in hopes that Odin would stop by on his travels and leave gifts. Ah, interesting. Horses carry Santa's sleigh in Denmark, Belgium, and the Netherlands. On Christmas Eve, they leave carrots and hay to feed the exhausted animals. They hope to retrieve treats like chocolate coins, cocoa, mandarin oranges, and marzipan, which I think is a dessert. There's pies, rice porridge. In Ireland, it's a pint of Guinness with his cookies. The French leave out a glass of wine. Wow, Santa's gonna have a good time in Europe. In Germany, they give handwritten letters. That's nice. Cool. All right. So we stole it. That's great. We steal everything. Americans are kind of messed up. I'm getting kind of tired of Americans on this stream. We hate on Christmas all this time, and then all of a sudden we're like, yeah, okay. All right. Hide pickles. That one's Italian. I know that one. I wonder. Did my wife hide a pickle in the tree? I'm gonna check that after this, because she knows that tradition. She did it once in our last apartment. It's like this big. Not an actual pickle, a pickle ornament, just for clarification. But I'm sure that they used real pickles back when they used fruit and nuts as decoration. All right. Christmas trees. We covered Christmas trees. The Rockettes. Oh, are those the dancing people? This doesn't give me any information about who they are. Charlie Brown Christmas. I grew up watching that. Oh, little Charlie Brown tree. They put an ornament on there, and then it falls over. Okay. 1965. Wow. Almost half of people in the U.S. who had TVs were watching it. That's crazy. Wow. It won an Emmy. That's crazy. I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love. Christmas pickles! There we go. If there's a pickle among your snowman, angel, and reindeer ornaments, you're likely taking part in the American tradition. Hold on. Maybe. Hold on. Hiding a green ornament in a tree, so the first child to find it wins a gift. Yeah. Or gets to open the first present Christmas. Okay, yeah. The origins are a bit murky. Likely grew from a Woolsworth marketing gimmick from the late 1800s. Imported German or what? No way. Christmas hiding pickle origin. I spelled origin wrong. What? Has my worldview just been shattered about this pickle? It's either the American Civil War, St. Nicholas, trapped in a barrel of pickles. What? What? Yeah, another Civil War. It's a German tradition, which is acceptable. I'm willing to yield to it being a German tradition. I refuse. After all of the things we've covered about Americans stealing Christmas from everyone and Christians stealing Christmas from everyone, I will not let this become an American tradition. What the heck? I will accept it if it's true. But I need to do more research on this. German, okay. Germans, they can have the pickle. That's fine. I just could have sworn it was Italian. That's crazy. Italian Christmas pickle. Okay. But doesn't... It says German American. What? What? I'm so confused. Italian Christmas pickle, Italian or German. It says it's German. What? German. Guys, let's call my mom. This is what we're going to do. This is going to be the last part of our stream here. I need to see if she knew about this. Because she's the one who introduced it to me. Here we go.
Hi, this is Noreen writing.
All right. No answer. I guess it's German. All right. As long as it's not American. You know what? Americans didn't invent anything. They stole everything. We stole this land. We stole all of these traditions. We didn't even want these traditions, and then we stole them. It's crazy. That's the end. Oh, this is the Milk and Cookies article. Elf on the Shelf. I don't care about Elf on the Shelf. Yule log. Fine. What's Elf on the Shelf? Christmas pickles, Elf on the Shelf. It's actually, 2005. Whatever. Don't care. It's in the 21st century. Yule logs. Americans. On TV. I do remember that. We would watch it on TV. Now we can stream it. Ancient winter solstice celebration. All right. Advent calendars. I have one of those. Germany. Awesome. Gingerbread houses. Germans. Hey. All right. Nutcracker. Russia. Christmas sweaters. Canada. I think. Yeah. Canada. Cookies and milk. Norse mythology. Candy canes. German Swedish. Boozy eggnog. England. But American colonists get credit. Ha! Wreaths. Ancient Greek and Roman. Christian meaning, whatever. Alright, we stole it. Christmas cards. England. It's a Wonderful Life. USA. Okay. The USA can have It's a Wonderful Life. We'll give them that. We'll give us that. Department store, that's got to be the United States. Yep, Massachusetts. Making fun of fruitcake. It's a thing in England, in Britain, but Americans make fun of it. Great. Cookie swaps. Americans. And visit from Santa Claus. That's pretty much every single nationality has something like that. What? Clement Moore. American. Stolen. Huh. Interesting. And he's a professor of a theological seminary. Interesting. Oh. Brown bags. New Mexico. Phoenix. Interesting. And the 12 days of Christmas. I know that's the 12 days between December 25th and then when the Magi came to see Jesus, I believe. Yeah, birth of Jesus, visit of the Magi. Hey, we got one. Poinsettias. This is a long... Okay, we're almost done. Poinsettias. Central America. Awesome. Bell ringers. San Francisco. All right, and that's the end. I'm still peeved about the pickle. That's all I can think about, guys, is the Christmas pickle. Is it German, really? German... There's a lot of German traditions with Christmas. I'll give them that, but it's not America. Not America. No. I'll give you an update later once I talk to my mom about that. That's a little crazy. That I thought all this time it was Italian, but I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that was my research into the origins of Christmas, the Christmas season, Christmas holiday, Christmas images, imagery and traditions. So I hope that you learned something new about Christmas. I definitely did. My worldview is shattered, and I hate America. Mostly. But thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the new year.